Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Let's talk about it. It's in theaters now, not June 20, well, and June 29th. So Harrison Ford returns with a whip and a hat. The opening had a weird CGI flashback. The CGI, we're not there yet, guys, and I can tell that a lot of money was thrown at the CGI. He plays a younger version of himself for like 10 minutes, and it's like watching a video game character on screen the whole time. Even later on in the film, they show a picture of him at that age with people that are real, and then young Indiana Jones. And they still just used video game character Indiana Jones. It made me wish that they did a video game on Indiana Jones because he looked pretty good for a video game character. But movie-wise, it literally looked like, you know, those movies where like Cool World, you have Brad Pitt in an animated world. The first 11 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is video game character in a 3D world. And it didn't look right. And they did it a couple other times, like old Harrison Ford is riding a horse and they put his face on someone else's body, or they just CGI'd him all. I don't know. He looked fucking weird a lot during that scene. So they just were too confident about their CGI. They could have done it better by shooting around the face, not just straight on. We're just not there yet with technology. And I appreciate that we're taking leaps and bounds like we tried with Irishman. It didn't land. It doesn't land with this either. Now, movie-wise, this is very different from any other Indiana Jones movie you have seen. It is absolutely better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was also more of a Indiana Jones movie than Dial of Destiny. Reason being, two reasons. One, it's James Mangold directing instead of Steven Spielberg, who did the previous four. James Mangold, if you haven't heard of him, he did Logan, The Wolverine, 3:10 to Yuma, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple. Walk the Line. Excellent director, one of my favorites, but he did this in his own vision, which worked. Harrison Ford's fucking 90, 80. He's old. He's super old. So the idea of them bringing back Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford playing himself, you're like, what? That's ridiculous. But after this flashback scene, I heard that it was Harrison Ford's idea. It opens up with Harrison Ford, with Indiana Jones sleeping on a couch, and you hear loud music, and you see the curmudgeon that is Harrison Ford, aka Indiana Jones, stand up, and he's in nothing but his boxers. So you just see old man Indiana Jones, and he looks decrepit and withered. And I was like, all right, I like this movie. At first, with the weird CGI opening, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be any good. But it was an excellent idea to actually show that we get it. This is an old man. And he goes to a neighbor's house and he bangs on the door with a bat like an old man. Like, it just really, really worked. And I'm really happy that they went that route. So what I'm getting to is Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny is a post-Indiana Jones movie. It is not as fun as the first three, but it's not necessarily supposed to be. The movie's fun in general, but it doesn't feel like the other ones. And it's kind of not supposed to, because he gave up on himself and he's kind of thrown into the world of his adventures again. He does not come willingly. He is like kind of forced to. And at first, the chase scenes and everything with him are him like as an old man, like running around, like looking like an old man. And then slowly but surely he gets into his Indiana Jones fit. Excellent pacing. Boyd Holbrook plays a henchman. He was really good in it. There was a new actress that I hadn't seen before. I hope I have her name down here. Where is it? I can't. Shawnette Renee Wilson, who played a CIA agent. It was good to see some more color in these fucking movies, but she wasn't on screen for that long, and I was very pissed. I was hoping they'd bring her back, and they didn't. Same with Antonio Banderas. This is not a spoiler because Antonio Banderas is basically an extra. I think that they did more with his character in an original script, or maybe they reshot a bunch of scenes that involved his character a lot less, but he was also short-lived on screen, if you know what I mean. So I was very angry that the only characters of color that were in the film only had a couple scenes. That was very annoying, but I'm glad that they tried to be more diverse and then they walked away from it completely. Now, what the Dial of Destiny is, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you can maybe figure it out. I figured it out like 15 minutes into the movie by a mistake that I won't get into. And the movie was, I thought that idea was cool. It's a way to go further. Like, first you had like ghosts with the Covenant, and you had voodoo with the Temple of Doom, and you had the Holy Grail dealing with being immortal, and you have aliens with the Crystal Skull. What's a step further? And they did a step further, and I dug it because of that, and with the theme of Indiana Jones facing the end of his life, basically, and if he is still a part of this new world, and is there room for him? That was also me paraphrasing something that the director said. I'm not going to say whether or not Indiana Jones dies, but I'm going to quote the director. Indiana Jones, it's not about him dying. It had to be about him coming to terms with the period of his life and this period of the world, and in a way coming to terms whether Indiana Jones has relevance to ours. So think about it in that aspect. It is it's an old man who used to be super dope, and is he super dope still? That's what the movie's about. So is it popping? It's popping. I don't think you need to see it in theaters, and apparently it's not doing very well in the box office. I just think that they should have like pushed it more with like the idea of like, I'm retired or something like that. Leave me alone. I'm a curmudgeon now. If they would have sold that idea more, I think more people would have went to see it. But instead they thought that they were just trying to recapture Indiana Jones, and they didn't try to recapture. They showed what happens when he gets old, and I thought that it worked. The third act, they could have done they could have went so many different routes, and I didn't like where they went literally, but it fit, I suppose. Apparently, there was earlier drafts of the script where Indy and Karen Allen's character had a bigger romance storyline, and they walked away from that in this film. But it worked. I will tell you right now, Shia LaBeouf is not in it. And what they did with this character was pretty like, yeah, we're not going to see him again. So check it out. I would recommend, if you're going in thinking, I don't know if I'm going to like this, you're probably not going to like it. But if you go in with an open mind of, this isn't an Indiana Jones movie, but it is like a farewell and a like look at what life could be as you reach past your prime, I think you'll like it.